So they're going to be at the back of my stage here. So I want to kind of do the same thing, but my backlights are different. I've got the 26 degrees from the front, but from the backlight I want kind of Fresnels or a wide degree barrel. Now we don't have any Fresnels in Labo. We actually have 50 degree source 4s. So I'm going to go and search for an ETC color source 50 and see what pops up here. And I've got my ETC color source spot 50. Perfect. Double click on that guy. Now I want to come up to the back here. Well, let's see. This is going to be kind of my area 1 over here, area 2 over there, and I want this to kind of be a top light. So I'm going to kind of pop it right. Let's pop it right there for right now. And then get the rotation the way that I want it and drop it in. And if it doesn't look the way that I want to rotate it, well, there's a couple things that I can do. If you remember before, I can use the rotate tool over here, or with it being highlighted, I could hit modify, rotate, and I can rotate it to the left 90 degrees and do that again, modify, rotate, rotate left 90 degrees, and that kind of points it in the direction that I want it to go. So I want to do that for all 6 zones here. So with him being highlighted, I'm going to copy and paste and have him, another one in the center there to be my area 2, another one over here, and I can go back and align those to make them all pretty if I want. Command V there. And I now have backlights, or top lights, which are all now 50 degrees. So I've got kind of my front lights, being my warms and my cools. I can see here that my front lights aren't exactly where I may want them, so I can highlight them and kind of slide them back along the pipe to kind of have them a little bit more symmetrical to my cool lights over on this side here. Now, you'll notice that we haven't put any information into any of these lights yet. So the way to do that is by double-clicking on the light, and that pops up a lighting device window here. I'm just going to hit cancel because I want to make sure that I'm going to start with my area 1 warm light down here. Now, I've been talking about the areas so far. Well, maybe there's a way that we should actually identify those. Your areas in Spotlight are known as focus points. That's over here in Spotlight, Lighting, Focus Points. So I'm going to click on that and come into the space and just assume that this is going to be where my area 1 is going to be. So I'm going to click on that. Now the name of this I want to change to 1. Notice how the focal height, it automatically assumes it wants it to be 5 feet because that's usually around the actor's face. And that's obviously what you want to focus to. So I want to click on that. Now what that does is create a focus position. Now if I just zoom in here, you see that in my default, it goes to this giant oval. Now that's not to say that that's where the light is going to go. I'll show you how to do that later. In the object info, I want to change that focus point shape from the 7-foot by 14 oval to a standard hybrid. And that just means that that's the center of the hotspot. If we're doing the lighting hang and focus, that's where someone should actually stand for us to focus the lights to. So now I'm going to populate the area with my other 6 zones. So I'm going to copy and paste. And what's awesome is it automatically knows, if you do this in the correct order, what the next lighting zone is. So area 3, if I come up here and click on the space and paste and paste and click on the space and paste, it automatically populates it with numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, next, coming back to my area 1 warm, which is this guy here when we're creating a house plot. I want to double click on him, like I mentioned before, and the lighting device window pops up with lighting instruments. Notice how it already shows me the position number. Unit number, skip that for right now because it'll auto do that in a moment. Channel, well, this is area 1 warm, so by my logic, I like to have areas 1 through 10 being my warms, 11 through 20 being cools, and 21 through 30 being my backs. And then you can do side lights up in the 40s, specials in the 50s. So this one's area 1, so we want it channel number 1. Over on the purpose, I want that area 1 warm. The color, well, it's an LED light, so it could be whatever color you want. I could actually pop up here to a color picker and pick a color if I wanted to. And then what that does is give me the actual variables that I could type into my ETC Ion or use my little color wheels for the red, the blue, and the green, and that would be the color. Or what's really cool about this is it knows gel numbers. So if I have Roscoe 09 or Roscoe 60, it will pop up that particular color. So I'm just going to make this R09, why not? Oh, I missed a couple other pieces of information here, so I'm just going to go back into that. And I want to come down here. It doesn't need a dimmer. Circuit number it doesn't need, but it does need a DMX address. And I'm going to change that to 100. Now, why 100? Well, over at Labo, DMX addresses 1 through actually 68 are for our dimmers and our house lights, and for the lights in the light locks. Those are the DMX addresses for those. So to kind of separate it, I'm going to start my LED lights up at DMX address 100. Next, I could change the label legend here, but I want that to be still with the LEDs. The focus, though, this is where I can say that this is focused towards area number 1. And I'll show you some cool things that it can do in a moment. So DMX address, there we go. So and now if I come down to my lighting plot and zoom in here for you guys, you can see how I've got my purpose, my color, the DMX address, and the channel number here. So I want to do that for each of my lights. And I know it sounds kind of time consuming, but you can do that in a number of different ways. You can click on the light, and in the object info, I can actually put it in over here as well. So if I knew the color or the channel number or anything like that, so this is going to be channel number 2, the color is going to be R09, the purpose is my area 2 warm, and I know it sounds kind of time consuming, but you kind of have to just bear with it. But let me show you another kind of tip. Oh, notice how I didn't have the DMX address in here. I can come down here to make sure that I have the DMX address, and that's 105. Why is that 105? Well, because our LED lights actually take 5 DMX addresses, one for red, one for blue, one for green, one for lime, and one for the intensity. So that's why I have to go up in groups of 5. So, hey, if all of these are my warm lights, I can actually select all of them by holding down the Shift key and clicking on all of them, and then in my object info, change all of their colors to be R09. I can change all of their purpose to be area space warm, and then I can come back in and actually say the purpose of each one. It just saves me one little step. And then I can go back and change each of their DMX addresses and their channel numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. The other way of doing it, if you've got a fast computer, but we noticed that this was taking a little bit of time, was the auto number positions feature, which enables you to click on one and automatically address all of them, but it tends to work a little bit slow. So you can kind of mess around with that if you want, but we found out that it's just faster to kind of just bite the bullet and do this kind of manually. So this is going to be my annual area 3 warm. So I'm just going to take some time to go ahead and do that for all of my lights, both my front lights and my back lights, and meet up with you guys in just a couple minutes so you don't have to watch me do that all the way through.